Binding. I feel like nobody likes binding in this room, but I'm not
No, I'm not against anything. I'm just against using it in a way that's not appropriate for somebody, or that will keep them from experiencing something perhaps more useful, you know.
And I could see that, but in defense of binding, I just want to say that, like, it takes away the outside part of the pose for me. Like, when I get to a certain point, say in like a twisted lunge, if I don't bind, then I start getting too crazy about where my fingers and my arms are, and I start disembodying. And then when I bind, I feel really secure.
Can you show me that?
No, not right now.
Why, you haven't finished your coffee?
No, I'm wearing jeans. I don't feel it.
That's all. This is elastic. Come on. Just give me an example, because I really would like to illustrate this. Here's a mat. Okay. Yeah. So let's throw it. We'll throw it down. Throw down the mat. So show me the twist, crazy arms trying to, yeah, without the bind. I know you're not warmed up. This is terribly unfair. I apologize. But there's nothing, this is a visual medium that we're in here. Okay. Okay. So is this the bind for you, or this is the prep for the, okay, so there you are, right? So it feels like the bind is going to be relief because your arms are just way out in space.
My arms are just in my way.
Uh-huh. Right.
And so once I bind, then I feel really internal. I sense my spine.
Sure.
And how it's rotating. And then I can go deeper and I can get longer.
Okay. Cool. Well, I would make a little variation of this. Go to the first position where your hands are in the namaste in the front. Plant your back foot. Plant your back toes. Sorry, flex your foot and plant. That's it. Now raise the back knee and breathe. See, for a bendy, flexible person like yourself, I'd recommend making this more into a strength move.
I usually do.
Okay. Right.
I didn't want to fall down on camera.
Right. And just to, you know, because you can bind quite easily. I don't think that's really an issue for you. You know, your arms just went and it was fine.
Yeah.
So then the question is, what are you up to and what's next? And usually the flexible people, in order to make the practice a little safer for them, you know, for their joints, is to work more on the strength, which involves necessarily pulling back a little bit from the maximum range of motion that you're able to go into and working at a place that doesn't feel like a limit instinctively. You know what I mean? And that's a very hard thing to do. I know I can go further, but to pull back from a limit
for me, because I could just whatever go on and like stretch my nerves if I want to.
Yeah, and then what? Right.
And
then your arm falls off.
Needles.
Well, right. Yeah, and or long term, what happens? Right. Yeah. So it's always more interesting and useful, I find, for the flexible people to pull in. Once you do the other side, to pull in from the range of motion and work on strength. Right. So. That's it.
And isn't I guess I was under the impression that the issue is not necessarily with the bind, but more like cranking with your arms.
Yes, using the arms to crank your spine into a position.
Like I know I've heard Amy say that the bind should arise from the twist.
Right, and then not the twist from the bind.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so plant your back foot. Can you raise your knee with your arms there in the bind? Ooh, see, that takes a little bit of core. It is. It's a pretty pose. It's a beautiful pose. Now, what I recommend is don't change anything. Just turn your head and look down at your front foot. So you're opening the top of your neck.
Fun.
Isn't that fun? Oh, yeah. But also, you can't use your eyes to stabilize quite as much. You have to use more of your kinesthetic awareness because your eyes aren't out in space. They're just down there.
Oh, that takes out the addiction of wanting to twist on forever.
Yes, it does. Right. It removes the Linda Blair factor. That's an Exorcist reference for those of you that are.
If I want to, and then
there's always a tempting. I want to see more, right? So turning the head does a few things. It protects the neck. It actually gives you a useful stretch there, and it puts you more in your internal space, visually and also kinesthetically. So little things, you know, you can just play with them. Let's see.
Do you know what I mean about the more?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Yeah, people going for the more makes a lot of business for me. Not to be cynical, but yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for entertaining my bind.
Well, thanks for entertaining my request to demonstrate.